Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. What's the one voice you hear more than any other in your entire life? It's not your partner. It's not your parents, your friends, or even your boss. It's your own voice. That constant inner dialogue that runs through your mind every single day. And the truth is, the way you speak to yourself determines how you see yourself, how you act, and ultimately, how successful you become. Self-talk is not just a concept reserved for psychology books or therapy sessions. It's the daily script that either builds you up or tears you down. And here's the catch. Most people go through life letting that voice operate on autopilot. They allow doubt, fear, insecurity, and negativity to run the show. And when that happens, confidence suffers, dreams shrink, progress slows, and the extraordinary life you were meant to live, it gets dimmed by the darkness of self-criticism. But today that changes. Because in this video, we're gonna dive deep into something that has the power to shift your entire reality. Mastering self-talk for confidence. This isn't about pretending to be positive or chanting empty affirmations. No, this is about understanding the root of your inner voice, transforming how it speaks to you, and learning how to become your own greatest ally, rather than your worst enemy. You see, confidence doesn't begin in your wardrobe, your resume, or your Instagram profile. It begins in your mind. It begins with the beliefs you rehearse to yourself over and over again. And those beliefs are shaped by your self-talk. Every time you tell yourself, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, or people won't take me seriously, you are literally programming your brain to limit your own potential. But every time you say, I can learn, I am capable, or I am growing stronger, you're planting seeds of courage and resilience that will grow into unshakable confidence. Over the course of this video, we will break down self-talk into 6 powerful parts, starting from understanding its true nature, identifying the destructive patterns, and moving all the way to replacing doubt with conviction. You'll learn how to reframe your mindset, take control of your internal dialogue, and feed your mind words that uplift rather than undermine. And make no mistake, this is not just motivational fluff, this is mental training. Just like your body needs the gym to get stronger, your mind needs intentional practice to become more confident. If you train your self-talk, you can train your confidence. And if you train your confidence, there's nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you. So, whether you've been battling low self-esteem, struggling with imposter syndrome, or simply want to grow into a more confident version of yourself, this message is for you. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. The power is within you. And it starts with how you speak to yourself. Let's begin this journey to mastering self-talk and unlocking the confidence that's been waiting inside you all along. The power of words. Welcome everyone. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful tools you have at your disposal. Your words. Not the ones you say to others, but the ones you say to yourself. Your self-talk is the voice inside your head that constantly shapes your reality. It's either lifting you up or holding you back. Mastering this inner dialogue is crucial for building unshakable confidence. Imagine this. Every day, you speak to yourself. Sometimes it's a quiet whisper, other times it's a loud inner voice that dictates your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. This inner voice is incredibly influential, even though it may seem like just thoughts. What you tell yourself, especially in moments of doubt or struggle, can either empower you or tear you down. This voice is more than just a reflection of your current mindset. It has the power to change your entire reality. Now think about how often you criticize yourself. How many times have you looked in the mirror and said, I'm not good enough, or I'll never be able to do that? These negative phrases are not harmless. They shape your self-perception and influence the decisions you make. When you constantly tell yourself that you're not capable, you're essentially planting seeds of self-doubt and insecurity. Over time, these seeds grow into beliefs that hold you back from stepping into your full potential. But here's the thing, you have the power to change that. Every word you speak has energy. Whether you're aware of it or not, you are constantly programming your mind through self-talk. Words have a vibration, they carry weight. When you speak negatively about yourself, you're attracting more of what you don't want. When you speak positively, you begin to align yourself with confidence and the success you desire. Imagine if you started speaking to yourself as you would to your best friend or someone you deeply care about. How would you encourage them? How would you support them when they're feeling down or discouraged? Most likely you'd say things like, "You've got this," "You're stronger than you think," or "You've already overcome so much." Why is it that we are so much kinder to others, but when it comes to ourselves, we tend to be our own worst critics? The truth is, you deserve the same love, support, and encouragement you would offer to others. And it starts with changing the narrative inside your head. If you want to build confidence, you need to begin by shifting the words you use to describe yourself. Words like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never make it," need to be replaced with empowering phrases like, "I am capable," "I am worthy of success," and "I am constantly growing and learning." Your words are not just fleeting thoughts, they are a direct reflection of your beliefs. And beliefs, when repeated long enough, become your reality. If you consistently tell yourself you can't do something, you'll start believing it. But if you start telling yourself that you're more than capable of achieving greatness, you'll begin to show up as that person. Mastering self-talk isn't about avoiding negative thoughts, those happen to all of us. It's about learning how to transform them into positive, empowering affirmations that propel you forward. This is the foundation of true confidence. The words you say to yourself determine your mindset, and your mindset is the key to unlocking your fullest potential. So let's begin this journey of mastering self-talk, because when you change the way you speak to yourself, you change everything. Your confidence will no longer be dependent on external validation, but on the powerful words you use every day to lift yourself up. Recognizing negative self-talk? Now that we understand the power of words and how they shape our confidence, let's focus on the next crucial step. Recognizing negative self-talk. Identifying when we're speaking to ourselves in a harmful way is the first step to transforming our mindset and building lasting confidence. It's not always easy to spot, because this kind of self-talk can be sneaky. It often shows up as subtle thoughts that we dismiss without thinking twice. But once you learn to recognize it, you can begin to take control and turn things around. Negative self-talk isn't just about outright insults or criticism. It's the small, seemingly innocent thoughts that chip away at your confidence over time. For example, how many times have you caught yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," or "I'm always messing up"? These thoughts may feel natural, but they are far from productive. In fact, they're damaging your self-esteem, whether you realize it or not. The first step to overcoming negative self-talk is awareness. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Start paying attention to the way you speak to yourself throughout the day. When you face a challenge, what's the first thought that crosses your mind? Is it something like, "I can do this"? Or do you immediately doubt yourself, thinking, "I'll never be able to handle this"? Often, we fall into the trap of negative self-talk without realizing how harmful it can be. It becomes a pattern, a way of thinking that we accept as part of who we are. But this pattern doesn't have to define you. The beauty of self-awareness is that once you start noticing these negative thoughts, you can challenge and change them. Another common form of negative self-talk is perfectionism. It shows up when you set unrealistically high standards for yourself and then criticize yourself for not meeting them. You may find yourself thinking, "If I don't do this perfectly, I'm a failure," or "I'll never be as good as others." This kind of thinking puts unnecessary pressure on you, leading to feelings of inadequacy and fear of failure. It's important to realize that perfection is a myth. Nobody is perfect, and nobody expects you to be either. Striving for progress, not perfection, is what truly builds confidence. Another form of negative self-talk is catastrophizing, imagining the worst possible outcome. Maybe you found yourself thinking, "If I fail at this, everything will fall apart," or "This one mistake will ruin everything." Catastrophizing magnifies the negative and causes unnecessary stress. It's a cycle of fear that prevents you from taking action, which is essential for growth and building confidence. In addition to these, many of us also engage in self-limiting beliefs. You may find yourself saying things like, "I'm not cut out for this," or "I'll never be successful." These statements become self-fulfilling prophecies because they prevent you from trying, growing, or pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. They lock you into a fixed mindset, where you believe your abilities are limited and unchangeable. The key here is to recognize that these negative thoughts are not facts. They're just thoughts. You have the ability to question them and change your inner dialogue. Once you become aware of your negative self-talk, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought really true? Is this thought helping me, or is it holding me back? The more you practice this, the easier it becomes to recognize and replace these harmful thoughts with more empowering ones. Recognizing negative self-talk is not about being perfect or silencing all your negative thoughts. It's about understanding that they don't define you, and you don't have to believe them. By building awareness, you take the first step in freeing yourself from the limits of self-doubt and stepping into the confidence you deserve. Now, challenging negative beliefs. Now that you've identified the negative self-talk patterns in your life, the next step is to challenge them. This is one of the most powerful tools you can use to build confidence and develop a more positive self-perception. Negative self-talk and limiting beliefs are often based on false assumptions or past experiences that no longer serve you. The key to overcoming them is learning to question their validity and replace them with more empowering, constructive thoughts. The first thing to understand is that most of the negative beliefs we hold about ourselves are not rooted in truth. They're often exaggerated or distorted versions of reality, shaped by our fears, insecurities, or past experiences. When you start to question these beliefs, you begin to break the chains that hold you back from your full potential. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough to succeed," ask yourself, where is the evidence for this thought? Have I had success in the past, even if it was small? What skills or strengths do I have that could help me succeed? By looking at your life through a more objective lens, you can start to see that this thought is not an absolute truth, but a belief that can be challenged. A common negative belief many people have is the fear of failure. Thoughts like, "If I fail, I'm a failure," or "I'm not capable of succeeding in this," can paralyze you with fear. To challenge this belief, ask yourself, what does failure truly mean? Is it the end of the world? Or is it an opportunity to learn and grow? Have I failed in the past and still come out stronger? Recognize that failure is not an identity. It's simply feedback that guides you toward improvement. In fact, every successful person has faced failure. The difference is that they didn't let it define them. They used it as fuel to push forward. Next, let's focus on self-limiting beliefs. These are beliefs that tell you you're not capable or worthy of achieving something. Like, "I'm not smart enough to get that promotion," or "I'll never be able to lose weight or get in shape." These thoughts are rooted in self-doubt and can prevent you from taking action. To challenge them, start by gathering evidence that disproves them. Ask yourself, have I ever accomplished something that seemed impossible at the time? What strengths do I have that I can apply to this challenge? What's the worst that could happen if I try? Often, negative beliefs come from comparing ourselves to others. We might think, "I'm not as successful as that person," or "I'll never be as good as them." This type of thinking diminishes our self-worth and makes us feel inadequate. But comparison is a trap. Everyone has their own journey, and your path to success is unique to you. Instead of comparing, focus on your own growth. Ask yourself, what small steps can I take today to improve and move closer to my goals? One of the most powerful tools for challenging negative beliefs is affirmations. Affirmations are positive, present tense statements that help you rewire your mindset. Instead of thinking, "I'll never be able to do this," replace it with, "I am capable of overcoming challenges and learning from mistakes." Repeat these affirmations daily, especially when negative beliefs arise. Over time, these positive thoughts will replace the negative ones, and you'll start to see yourself and your potential in a whole new light. Another way to challenge negative beliefs is through visualization. Picture yourself achieving your goals and overcoming the obstacles that stand in your way. See yourself handling challenges with grace and confidence. Visualization helps reprogram your subconscious mind, making it easier to break free from limiting beliefs and take bold action. Finally, remember that challenging negative beliefs is an ongoing process. It's not about completely eliminating all negative thoughts, but about recognizing them and taking active steps to replace them with more empowering ones. The more you practice challenging your negative beliefs, the more confident and self-assured you'll become. By learning to challenge negative beliefs, you begin to break free from the chains of self-doubt and step into your full potential. Confidence doesn't come from never having doubts. It comes from facing those doubts head-on and choosing to believe in your ability to succeed, replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. After identifying and challenging your negative beliefs, the next crucial step in mastering self-talk is replacing those harmful, limiting thoughts with positive, empowering ones. This process is where the true transformation happens. Your thoughts shape your reality. So by consciously shifting your mindset from negative to positive, You begin to build confidence and create a new narrative for your life. The first step to replacing negative thoughts with positive ones is to become aware of when you're having negative self-talk. As we discussed earlier, the more aware you are of these thoughts, the easier it becomes to interrupt and replace them. This is where mindfulness and conscious awareness play a huge role. Whenever you catch yourself thinking negatively about yourself, ask yourself, is this thought helping me grow? Is it true? Is it in alignment with the person I want to be? For example, let's say you have a recurring thought like, I can never do this. I'm not good enough. Instead of allowing that thought to spiral into self-doubt, stop and challenge it. Remind yourself that this thought is a lie designed to hold you back. Replace it with a more empowering thought like, I am capable of learning and growing, and I have the strength to handle challenges. When replacing negative thoughts, it's important to make the positive affirmations as specific and grounded as possible. For instance, if you often think, I'm terrible at speaking in public, you might replace it with, I am improving my public speaking skills every day, and I'm becoming more confident each time I practice. By making your new positive thoughts realistic and action-oriented, you create an affirmation that encourages progress rather than perfection. One powerful tool in this process is the use of positive self-talk or positive affirmations. These are statements you repeat to yourself regularly to reinforce positive beliefs. The key here is to make them present tense as if they are already true. The mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So when you say, I am confident, even if it feels untrue at first, your mind starts to believe it. Over time. You'll begin to act in ways that align with your new beliefs and your confidence will grow. Another effective method is to write down your positive affirmations and read them daily. This creates a sense of commitment and intention, and the act of writing down your affirmations further strengthens their impact. Over time, as you continue this practice, your self-talk will gradually shift from a place of self-doubt to one of empowerment. You can also replace negative thoughts with positive ones by focusing on your strengths, accomplishments, and past successes. This will help you realize how much you've already achieved and how capable you truly are. Every time you catch yourself thinking negatively, remind yourself of one thing you've done well in the past. Celebrate the small wins as they build the foundation for greater confidence. For instance, if you find yourself thinking, I'll never get this promotion, replace it with, I've worked hard and demonstrated my value in this role. I'm taking steps every day to improve my skills, and I know that progress leads to success. Another important aspect of replacing negative thoughts is practicing gratitude. When you focus on the things you're grateful for, you naturally start to shift your mindset from a lack-based mentality to one of abundance. Gratitude helps you see all that you already have and all that you've already achieved. When you're constantly grateful, your mind begins to focus on the positive aspects of your life, helping you feel more confident in who you are and what you can do. Also, consider surrounding yourself with positive influences. This could be in the form of uplifting people, motivational books, podcasts, or affirmations that resonate with you. The more positive input you have in your life, the easier it will be to replace negative thoughts with constructive ones. Remember, the process of replacing negative thoughts with positive ones is not about denying reality or ignoring problems. It's about choosing to focus on the solutions, the opportunities, and your ability to navigate challenges. By consistently practicing this shift in thinking, you'll rewire your brain for positivity and self-confidence. In time, replacing negative thoughts with positive ones will become second nature. You'll begin to see challenges as opportunities for growth and will no longer be held back by limiting beliefs. Your confidence will soar, and you'll realize that you have the power to create the life you desire by changing your self-talk and believing in your own potential. Developing a consistent self-talk practice. Mastering self-talk is not a one-time effort. It requires consistent practice. To truly transform your mindset and build unshakable confidence, you must make positive self-talk a daily habit. This is not just a temporary fix, but a lifelong practice that, over time, will rewire your brain and create lasting change. One of the most important aspects of developing a consistent self-talk practice is to integrate it into your daily routine. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you work at it, the stronger it becomes. Start by setting aside time each day to focus on your self-talk. You can begin your day by reading through your positive affirmations or speaking them aloud. By starting your day with a mindset of confidence, you set the tone for the rest of the day. One way to ensure consistency is by creating specific times during your day to practice self-talk. For example, when you wake up in the morning, take a few minutes to repeat affirmations like "I am capable" or "I am worthy of success" before heading into any challenging situation, whether it's a presentation, meeting, or conversation. Use a few moments to remind yourself that you are confident and prepared. These small but powerful acts will gradually become ingrained in your daily routine. In addition to these scheduled moments, make self-talk a natural part of your internal dialogue throughout the day. Whenever you find yourself in a situation where self-doubt arises, replace that thought with an empowering one. For instance, if you're about to speak in public and you think, "I'm going to mess this up," counter it with, "I am prepared and capable of delivering a great performance." The more often you engage in positive self-talk, the more you will begin to notice a shift in your overall mindset. Another way to develop a consistent self-talk practice is through journaling. Taking the time to reflect on your thoughts and feelings in a journal allows you to observe patterns in your self-talk. Start by writing down any negative or limiting thoughts you've had during the day, and then rewrite them in a positive, empowering way. This practice allows you to take control of your thoughts rather than letting them control you. Over time, journaling can help you see how far you've come and give you the motivation to continue cultivating positive self-talk. It's also important to remember that consistency doesn't mean perfection. There will be days when negative thoughts try to creep in, or when your self-talk feels less powerful than it did the day before. That's okay. The key is to not give up and keep practicing, even on tough days. Building a habit of positive self-talk takes time, and there will be moments of challenge. But every time you replace negativity with positivity, you're making progress toward your goal of greater confidence. In addition to your own efforts, consider incorporating external reinforcement into your routine. Surround yourself with uplifting content that promotes positive self-talk. This could include reading books, listening to podcasts, or watching videos that reinforce the mindset you're trying to cultivate. When you fill your mind with positivity, it becomes easier to practice that same positivity in your self-talk. Accountability can also be a powerful tool in developing consistency. Share your self-talk goals with a friend, coach, or mentor who can encourage you and remind you of your progress. Sometimes, just having someone check in with you can make all the difference in staying on track. Finally, remember that self-talk is not just about words, it's also about the feelings and beliefs you associate with those words. As you practice, take note of the emotions you experience when you speak positively to yourself. The more you feel the power behind your affirmations and beliefs, the more you will truly believe in your own strength and capabilities. By making self-talk a consistent, non-negotiable practice, you are planting the seeds for lasting confidence and self-belief. It may take time, but with dedication, you'll soon see the incredible transformation in how you view yourself and your potential. As you continue to reinforce positive self-talk every day, your confidence will grow and you'll be unstoppable, overcoming negative self-talk and replacing it with confidence. Negative self-talk is a common challenge that many people face on their journey to building confidence. It's easy for negative thoughts to creep in, especially when we're feeling unsure or facing difficult situations. However, understanding how to overcome this negativity is key to mastering self-talk and replacing it with a strong, confident inner voice. The first step in overcoming negative self-talk is to recognize it. Often these negative thoughts occur so automatically that we don't even notice them. Thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," "I'll never succeed," or "I always mess things up," can feel like truths. But they are not facts. They are simply thoughts. And most of the time, they are distorted. By becoming aware of these negative patterns, you can take the first step toward changing them. Once you've identified the negative thoughts, challenge their validity. Ask yourself, is this thought based on facts? Or is it just my fear or insecurity talking? Negative self-talk often stems from self-doubt. But those doubts are not always grounded in reality. For example, if you think, "I can't do this," challenge yourself with, "What's one thing I've done before that shows I can handle this?" By looking at past successes, you can remind yourself that you are capable. This small shift in perspective can make a huge difference in how you view yourself. The next step is to reframe the negative thoughts into more empowering ones. Reframing is about transforming negative statements into constructive, confidence-building affirmations. For instance, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'll never be able to handle this situation," reframe it by saying, "This situation might be challenging, but I have faced challenges before, and I am capable of overcoming them." By changing the language you use with yourself, you start to build an internal dialogue that supports growth, resilience, and confidence. Another powerful way to overcome negative self-talk is by practicing self-compassion. Often we are our own harshest critics, but this self-criticism can be incredibly damaging. When negative thoughts arise, treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. For example, if you make a mistake, instead of saying, "I'm so stupid for messing up," say, "It's okay to make mistakes. I can learn from this and do better next time." By being compassionate with yourself, you can create a more supportive environment for positive self-talk to thrive. It's also essential to reaffirm your strengths. In moments of self-doubt, take time to acknowledge what you are good at and the qualities that make you unique. Write them down if necessary, and review them whenever you start to feel insecure. By focusing on your strengths, you are actively counteracting the negative self-talk with a stronger, more positive narrative. Recognizing your worth and celebrating your abilities is an important part of building unshakable confidence. One powerful tool in overcoming negative self-talk is visualization. Take a few moments to close your eyes and imagine yourself succeeding in the situation where you feel doubt or insecurity. Visualize yourself handling the challenge with grace, confidence, and poise. Imagine how you will feel once you've succeeded. Visualization is not only an effective way to build confidence, but it also programs your brain for success by reinforcing positive outcomes. Another technique to shift your mindset is surrounding yourself with positivity. The people you interact with, the media you consume, and the environments you're in can all have a significant impact on your thoughts. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity or criticism, it can be harder to cultivate positive self-talk. Instead, surround yourself with supportive, uplifting individuals who encourage and believe in you. Consume content, books, podcasts, or motivational videos that reinforce positive self-talk and confidence. The more positivity you surround yourself with, the easier it will be to replace negative self-talk with empowering messages. Lastly, practice patience and persistence. Overcoming negative self-talk is a gradual process that requires consistent effort. There will be days when negative thoughts feel overwhelming, and that's okay. What matters is that you continue to recognize, challenge, and replace those thoughts with positive ones. The more you practice, the easier it will become, and soon you'll notice how much your mindset has shifted. Remember, you are not your thoughts. Negative self-talk doesn't define you, and it doesn't have to control you. By actively challenging these negative patterns and replacing them with confidence-building statements, you can take charge of your inner dialogue and build a foundation of self-belief that will help you face any challenge with unwavering confidence. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring this journey to a close, I want you to take a deep breath, not just to relax, but to reset. Because what you've just learned isn't just theory or surface-level motivation. It's a shift, a transformation, a new awareness of the most important conversation you'll ever have, the one you have with yourself. We've uncovered the truth about self-talk, that it can either be your greatest weapon or your greatest weakness. We've exposed the lies we often tell ourselves, those subtle, quiet thoughts that chip away at our belief in our abilities. We've faced the inner critic, the saboteur, the voice of fear that loves to disguise itself as logic. And we've replaced it with something powerful: truth, hope, resilience, and most importantly, choice. Because that's the real key. You have the power to choose your inner dialogue. You are not a prisoner of your past thoughts. You are not doomed to repeat the same limiting beliefs day after day. The same way you trained yourself to think small, you can now train yourself to think big. The same way you once doubted your worth, you can now speak strength into your soul. And the same way you may have allowed fear to hold you back, you can now allow courage to lead you forward. Confidence doesn't arrive all at once. It's built one internal conversation at a time. Every time you correct that negative thought, every time you replace "I can't" with "I will," you are laying another brick in the foundation of unshakable confidence. This isn't just self-help, it's self-leadership. You are becoming the commander of your mindset, the architect of your belief system, and that is where your power truly lies. So as you walk away from this video, walk away with intention. Don't just feel good for a few minutes. Make a commitment to change your inner narrative for good. Speak to yourself as someone who deserves success. Speak to yourself as someone who is learning, growing, and evolving every day. Speak to yourself as someone who will no longer shrink to fit the doubts of yesterday. And when the old thoughts return, as they sometimes will, remember this: you are not your thoughts. You are the thinker behind them. You have the power to edit, replace, and redirect them. Mastering self-talk is not about being perfect. It's about being aware. It's about showing up for yourself. It's about choosing love over fear, belief over doubt, and progress over perfection. Because once you master your self-talk, you master your mindset. And once you master your mindset, there's no limit to what you can achieve. So don't wait for the world to validate you. Start by validating yourself. Speak life into your vision. Speak confidence into your soul. And most of all, never underestimate the power of your own voice. This is your time. This is your chapter. And it all begins with the words you choose to say to you.